The night shift at Ward 7. A hospital ghost, horror story. I need to tell you what happened to me at Mercy General Hospital last week. Because if I don't tell someone, I think I'm going to lose my mind. And before you say it was exhaustion or hallucination, I've been a nurse for 12 years. I know the difference between fatigue and something else. This isn't something you forget. This isn't something that fades. It started on Tuesday night, 11 p.m. I was 3 hours into my shift on Ward 7, the geriatric wing. Quiet floors are the worst, by the way. Everyone thinks they'd prefer silence, but in a hospital, silence means you hear everything else. I was updating charts at the nurses' station when I heard it. The call button from room 712. One soft ding. I checked the monitor. Room 712 was listed as unoccupied, had been for 2 weeks, ever since they'd sent old Mrs. Patterson to the ICU. But there it was on my screen. Call button lit up, bright orange. I grabbed my pen light and walked down the hall. My shoes squeaking on linoleum were the only sound. When I reached 712, the door was open about 6 inches. "Hello?" I called out. A voice, thin, papery, answered from inside. "Water, please, I need water." I pushed the door open. The room was dark except for the moonlight coming through the window. And there, in the bed, was an elderly man, thin white hair, hospital gown. His lips looked cracked and dry. "I'm so thirsty," he said. "Please." Here's the thing, I'm a professional. So even though my brain was screaming that this room was supposed to be empty, my training kicked in. I went to the small sink, filled a plastic cup, and brought it to him. His hand shook as he reached for it. Our fingers almost touched. Then my pager went off, loud, shrill. I glanced down for just a second. When I looked back up, the bed was empty, sheets pristine, like no one had been there at all. The cup of water fell from my hand, splashing across the floor. I ran back to the nurses' station, pulled up the records. Room 712, unoccupied since April 3rd. I told myself it was fatigue, a waking dream. I didn't tell anyone. Wednesday night, same shift. I avoided Ward 7's west hallway entirely, stayed near the occupied rooms. At 2:47 a.m., the call button for 712 dinged again. My whole body went cold. I stared at that orange light on the monitor, willing it to turn off. It didn't. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Still thirsty." I should have left. I should have called someone. But instead, I walked to that room again. I don't know why. Maybe because part of me needed to know I wasn't crazy. He was there again, same position, same desperate eyes. "You didn't bring water," he said, and this time there was something accusatory in his voice. "Who are you?" I whispered. "Room 712, he said. "I've been here so long, so long." I backed out of the room, went straight to the administrative office, and pulled the archived files for room 712. My hands shook as I scrolled through the records. Then I found it. Harold Brennan, age 73, admitted with pneumonia. Room 712, date of death, January 19th, 3 months ago. Cause of death listed as dehydration and acute renal failure following a medication error. The notes indicated call buttons had been malfunctioning on Ward 7 that week. He'd called for water repeatedly. No one came. I felt sick. The file included a photo. It was him, same thin white hair, same hollow cheeks, But here's what made my blood freeze. Attached to his file was an incident report. A nurse had been suspended. Someone hadn't responded to his calls. Someone had let him die of thirst over the course of 18 hours. I looked at the signature on the report. It wasn't mine. I hadn't even been working Ward 7 back in January. But that nurse? She'd quit the next day. Never worked healthcare again. Thursday night, I called in sick. Friday too. But Saturday, they were short-staffed. My supervisor begged. Double pay. I agreed. I wish I hadn't. At midnight, every call button on Ward 7 went off simultaneously. All 15 rooms. The monitor panel looked like a Christmas tree. Orange lights everywhere. But only one voice came through the intercom system. Water. Please. Someone. Anyone. It was coming from room 712. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe guilt, even though it wasn't my fault. Maybe because I understood something in that moment. He wasn't trying to scare me. He was just still waiting, still thirsty, still alone in that room, replaying the worst night of his death over and over. I filled the largest pitcher we had, walked to room 712 one last time. He was there, looking weaker than before, more transparent. I set the pitcher on the bedside table. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I'm so sorry no one came." His hand reached out. I could see through it now and touched the pitcher. "Thank you," he said. And then he smiled. Actually smiled. The room got brighter, like dawn was breaking through the window, even though it was past midnight. And Harold Brennan faded away. Not violently, not with screaming or terror. Just peacefully, like he'd finally gotten what he needed. The call button hasn't gone off since. Room 712 is occupied now. A new patient. A living one. The night shifts are quiet again, but I keep a cup of water at the nurse's station every night, just in case. Because I learned something on Ward 7. Sometimes ghosts aren't haunting us out of anger. Sometimes they're just still waiting for the kindness they never received. Sometimes they just need someone to finally answer the call. Thanks for watching. I hope you consider subscribing for weekly videos.